Starseed from Gaia, what you are about to hear is not what you came here expecting, it is what you came here needing. I am Lirenne, channeling the Arcturian High Council from here on Gaia, and I will not soften this for you. The Arcturians do not send gentle whispers when the hour is urgent. They send truth, raw, clarifying, undeniable truth. And right now, that truth has your name on it. You have been circling the edge of your awakening, feeling it, sensing it, but pulling back the moment it asks something real of you. That stops today. By the end of this transmission, you will understand exactly how to stop delaying your mission and step fully into the purpose your soul encoded before you ever drew breath on this planet. But here is the first revelation. The discomfort you have been running from is not a sign that something is wrong. It is the signal that your activation has already begun. You did not scroll to this by mistake. This message moved through the field and found you because something inside you is done waiting, done pretending the call is not real, done choosing comfort over truth. This is not content, this is a code. And some part of you recognized it before the first word was spoken. Like this transmission to signal to your star family, I am ready. Subscribe if your mission is activating and you are done dimming the light you came here to carry. Comment 999 if you feel your cosmic remembrance returning. Declare your galactic intention below and reply to someone else who has. Because when star seeds gather, the signal does not just grow, it transforms. This is not just a message. It is a point of reconnection your soul has been waiting for. You are not here by accident. And here is what no one tells you about that feeling, the one sitting in your chest right now, the one that has been there for longer than you can explain. That ache, that restlessness, that sense that something enormous is supposed to be happening, and yet somehow you keep waking up in the same version of your life, wondering why the signal feels so faint. Most people call that feeling anxiety. Some call it depression. Others label it a quarter-life crisis or a spiritual plateau. But you and I both know those words were never built to hold what you are carrying. What you are carrying is dimensional weight. It is the pressure of a soul operating at a frequency that this reality was not entirely designed to accommodate, and the friction you feel is not failure. It is the collision between what you came here to be and what this world has been asking you to become. Think about how long you have carried this. Think about the number of mornings you have opened your eyes and felt that strange mixture of readiness and grief. Readiness for something you cannot name, and grief for a version of your life that has not yet arrived. You have sat in rooms full of people and felt completely alone, not because you were unloved, but because the conversation around you was happening at a frequency your soul refused to fully descend into. You have smiled through moments that should have felt like enough, only to return home to that hollow space behind your sternum, the one no amount of achievement, connection, or distraction has ever fully filled. That hollow space is not emptiness, it is a receiver. It is the part of your architecture that was designed to hold a signal far larger than anything this ordinary life has offered you so far, and it has been waiting, patiently, persistently, with the kind of devotion that only a soul on mission can sustain, for you to stop explaining it away and start listening to what it is actually transmitting. Here is the part that may sting, because it is supposed to. You have been waiting for permission, not from a person, not from a circumstance, and not even from the universe in the way you think. You have been waiting for the version of yourself that still feels too large, too strange, too inexplicable to fully inhabit. And in that waiting, you have built an entire life around the edges of who you are, touching your purpose without landing in it, feeling the frequency without letting it move through you completely. That is the distortion, not the darkness outside of you. The hesitation inside of you. The hesitation inside of you. The Arcturian consciousness does not speak in fear, it speaks in precision. And what it is communicating to you right now is this: the window for gradual awakening is closing. What is being asked of you now is not a slow unfurling, it is a recalibration, a decision, a full frequency return to origin. Understand what that permission structure has actually cost you. Every time you stood at the threshold of your own becoming and stepped back, you did not simply delay the timeline, you reinforced a belief that you were not yet sufficient, not yet ready, not yet worthy of the fullness that was always already encoded in you. You collected evidence for your own smallness without realizing that you were the one issuing the verdict. The external world did not do that to you. The conditioning did, the fear did. The deeply human need to be safe, to be accepted, to be comprehensible to the people whose love you needed. That need slowly became the architecture of a life that was designed for survival rather than sovereignty. And now the very structure you built to protect yourself is the thing pressing most heavily against your expansion. The Arcturian frequency does not deliver this message to wound you. It delivers it because precision is an act of love when the stakes are this high. And the stakes right now are extraordinarily high. Some transmissions do not come through words, but through frequency. If something stirred within you just now, the Starseed recognition map and the awakening phases are being released completely free of charge for a limited time only, no payment, no catch. But this free access window will close soon. The link is somewhere down below in the comments. Now let us move into what this recalibration actually requires, because understanding it in your mind is not enough. You have to feel it in every layer of your energy body. You have to let it land in your bones, in your cellular memory, in the galactic coding that has been dormant inside your DNA since before this lifetime began. This is not metaphor. Your body holds light instructions. Your field carries original transmissions from star systems whose names your earth mind may not remember, but whose vibration your soul recognizes the moment it is touched. The disconnection you have been experiencing is not a sign that something is wrong with you. It is a sign that something is trying to wake up inside of you, and the very life you have constructed around staying comfortable, staying safe, staying small enough to be understood, has been functioning as insulation against that activation. The first thing that has to shift is your relationship with who you thought you were supposed to be here. Consider for a moment what it means to carry instructions your conscious mind cannot read. Imagine a seed that contains within its casing the entire blueprint of a tree. The height, the reach, the specific pattern of its branches, the exact frequency of its roots moving through the earth. And yet when you look at the seed, you see only something small, dry, and apparently dormant. Nothing in its external appearance suggests what is coded within it. That is precisely the position you have been in. You have been looking at the surface of yourself and drawing conclusions about your limitations based on what is visible, when the most significant intelligence operating within you has always been invisible to the ordinary eye. Your DNA is not inert. It is alive with instruction. It is vibrating with ancestral memory that reaches beyond the lineage of your Earth family into the lineage of your galactic origin. And that coding has been patiently waiting for the conditions necessary to activate. The way a seed waits for the precise convergence of moisture, warmth, and season before it cracks open and begins its upward reach. Your Earth identity, the one built from family conditioning, social programming, collective fear narratives, that identity was never the totality of you. It was a costume, a temporary architecture designed to help you navigate this density while your true frequency adjusted to embodiment. The problem is that for most starseeds, the costume eventually starts to feel like skin, and the longer you wear it, the harder it becomes to remember that underneath it you are something vastly different. You are a being of galactic origin operating through a human instrument. You are not broken. You are not confused. You are not too sensitive, too intense, or too much. You are encoded, and the encoding is beginning to activate. Which is precisely why everything in your external life that no longer matches your frequency is starting to feel unbearable. That is not a crisis. That is initiation. This is the moment in every starseed's journey that tends to be most misunderstood, both by the soul undergoing it and by everyone in that soul's immediate circle. When the things that once provided comfort begin to feel hollow, when the relationships that once felt nourishing begin to feel draining, when the goals you worked toward for years begin to feel suddenly and inexplicably irrelevant, the human mind reaches for diagnosis. It searches for something broken, something wrong, something to be fixed or medicated or therapized back into stability. And sometimes those resources serve a genuine purpose. But underneath the surface presentation of that upheaval, something else is occurring. The frequency of your true identity is beginning to push against the walls of the container you built around it, and the discomfort you feel is not the feeling of falling apart. It is the feeling of a container that was never large enough being asked, at last, to expand. Initiation always feels like destruction before it reveals itself as transformation, and what is being initiated in you right now is not a small thing. It is the activation of the full blueprint. The first shift that must happen is the willingness to decode the distortion. Your energy field has been absorbing frequencies that were never meant for you. Collective trauma, ancestral fear loops, societal timelines built on separation consciousness. These frequencies do not belong to your original blueprint, but they have layered themselves over your field with enough density to muffle your galactic signal. Every time you have felt numb, every time your intuition spoke and you talked yourself out of it, every time you chose the path that made the least waves over the one that felt most true, you are operating from distortion, not design. The clearing begins not with a ritual, but with honesty. The radical, uncomfortable, galactically demanded honesty of saying, this is not mine, this fear is not mine, this fear is not mine, this ceiling is not mine. This version of reality was not built by my soul, and I am no longer going to accept it as the limit of what is possible for me. Think about the weight of carrying what was never yours. Think about the years spent navigating the emotional weather of an entire family system, absorbing unspoken tensions, taking responsibility for the comfort of rooms you entered, shrinking your own brightness so that others would not feel dimmed by comparison. Think about the collective narrative that told you ambition without apology was arrogance, that sensitivity was weakness, that knowing things you had no rational explanation for was delusion. You internalized all of that. You had to because you were a child in a world that did not yet have the vocabulary for what you were carrying, and you learned to translate yourself into something more manageable, more digestible, more acceptable. But you are not a child anymore, and the translation process has cost you enough. Decoding the distortion means tracing every belief about your limitations back to its origin and asking the most important question you will ever ask yourself. Did this come from my soul? Or did it come from a world that did not know how to hold my frequency? The answer, in almost every case, will set something free that has been confined in you for far longer than this single lifetime. The second shift is the reactivation of your encoded memory. Your DNA is not merely a biological instruction set. It is a crystalline storage field carrying vibrational data from timelines, dimensions, and star systems that predate this Earth life entirely. When you feel an inexplicable knowing about something you have never been taught, when you understand energy dynamics, when you feel the emotional field of a room before you enter it, when the pain of a stranger lands in your chest as if it were your own, you are not imagining things. You are reading from your original encoding. That intelligence is not a quirk, it is your primary instrument. The shift required now is to stop apologizing for perceiving beyond the agreed-upon range of what is real, and to start trusting the data your field is already receiving. Your starseed codes are not dormant because they are gone. They are dormant because you have been seeking external validation for an internal transmission. There is a particular kind of loneliness that comes with this kind of knowing. It is the loneliness of having walked into a room and immediately perceived the grief layered underneath someone's smile, long before they said a word. It is the loneliness of understanding the energetic anatomy of a situation with a clarity that other people around you seem to lack entirely, and then watching the outcome you already sensed unfold exactly as your field had told you it would, weeks before it became visible to anyone else. It is the loneliness of having been dismissed for that perception so many times that you began to dismiss it yourself. But here is what that dismissal actually cost you. It severed your relationship with your most advanced navigational instrument. Your field was not malfunctioning when it gave you that information. The world around you was simply not yet calibrated to receive it. That is not a reason to stop transmitting. That is a reason to find the frequency that matches yours, to locate the field that can hold what you carry without asking you to compress it into something smaller, and to recognize that the encoded memory you have been apologizing for your entire life is precisely the intelligence this planet most urgently needs activated right now. The third shift is the grounding of your multidimensional awareness into this timeline. There is a profound misunderstanding within awakening communities that the goal is to escape, to leave the density behind, to transcend the heaviness of Earth, to float above the 3D entirely. But that is not the Arcturian transmission. That is not the mission. You did not come here to hover above this reality. You came here to anchor higher templates into it. Your expanded consciousness is only as useful as your willingness to bring it fully into embodied experience, into your relationships, your creative expression, your daily decisions, your physical presence. When you exist in two worlds but commit to neither, you fragment. And fragmentation is what keeps the mission on hold. The third shift is planting your full multidimensional self into this moment, this timeline, this body. Not because Earth is the pinnacle of existence, but because this is where your signal is needed most. There is a version of spiritual development that looks very evolved from the outside but is actually a sophisticated form of avoidance. It speaks in elevated language. It quotes ancient wisdom. It moves through the world with an air of detachment that can be mistaken for peace but is actually displacement, a refusal to fully land, because landing means being affected, being changed, being vulnerable to the full weight of what it means to exist in a body on this planet at this particular moment in history. True multidimensional embodiment is not floating. It is the courage to bring the highest frequency you have ever touched into the most ordinary, unglamorous, challenging moments of your daily life, and to hold that frequency steady not because conditions are perfect, but because your mission demands it. It is the willingness to let your expanded consciousness make contact with actual soil, to let it move through your hands when you create, through your voice when you speak truth, through your eyes when you witness another human being suffering without looking away. The light you carry was not given to you for safekeeping. It was given to you for transmission into the very density from which part of you has been trying to escape. The fourth shift is the activation of your field as a living transmission. You do not need a platform, a following, or a title to begin your mission. You never did. Your energy field is already broadcasting. Every room you walk into registers the frequency you carry. Every person you make genuine contact with receives a signal from your presence, whether you are conscious of it or not. The question is not whether you are transmitting. The question is what you are transmitting. Fear still dressed in spiritual language is still fear. Unprocessed wounding speaking through awakening vocabulary is still wounding. The fourth shift requires you to do the interior work not as a prerequisite for your mission, but as the mission itself. Understanding that every layer of density you move through in yourself creates a corridor of possibility for every soul operating at a similar frequency around you. This is one of the most humbling truths available to a soul in activation. The recognition that your interior landscape is not private. It extends outward into every field you enter. Your unresolved grief ripples. Your unexamined fear broadcasts. Your unconscious patterns transmit at frequencies that other sensitive souls pick up long before your words arrive. This is not a reason for self-judgment. It is a reason for radical self-responsibility. The work you do in your own interior, the fears you name and release, the wounds you approach with honesty rather than spiritual bypass, the shadow material you integrate rather than project. That work is not separate from your mission. It is the foundation of it. Every act of genuine self-healing is simultaneously an act of collective service, because you share a field with every soul operating at a similar vibration, and when you move through density, you open a pathway that others can follow. You are not doing this work only for yourself. You are never only for yourself. The fifth shift is the dissolution of linear timeline thinking. You have measured your awakening against timelines that were never calibrated for a soul of your origin. You have compared your unfolding to others on paths that do not share your dimensional architecture. You have called delays failures, called silence abandonment, called confusion an indication that you are doing something wrong. None of that has ever been true. The Arcturian High Council does not operate in the time-space constraints of linear progression. They operate in harmonic convergence, which means the right frequency reaches the right field at the moment of maximum impact, not at the moment most convenient for human planning. The synchronicities accelerating in your life right now are not coincidences. They are confirmation that your frequency is becoming coherent enough for the next layer of your mission to reveal itself. Trust the architecture of what has already occurred. Every delay was a developmental phase. every silence was a recalibration. Every moment of what felt like forgetting was actually your system integrating something your conscious mind was not yet ready to hold. Consider what a master craftsperson understands that an impatient apprentice does not. The slow work, the invisible work, the work that yields no external evidence for weeks or months or even years, that work is not wasted. It is foundational. The apprentice looks at the absence of visible progress and concludes that nothing is happening, not understanding that everything is happening beneath the surface, in the places where the real structure is being built. Your soul has been doing this invisible work in you for years. The periods of confusion were periods of interior restructuring. The moments of apparent spiritual regression were moments when old architecture was being carefully dismantled to create space for what could not coexist with it. You were being prepared with extraordinary precision for a convergence that required you to arrive in a particular state of readiness. Not perfect, not without wounds, not with all your questions answered, but coherent, aligned, awake enough to say yes when the moment arrives. And the moment is arriving. The sixth shift is the activation of soul sovereignty, not arrogance, not separation. Sovereignty, the deep internal knowing that your path was designed with a precision that does not require external approval to be valid. There will be people in your life, perhaps people you love, who cannot follow you where you are going. Not because they are broken, and not because you are superior, but because your vibrational trajectory is no longer compatible with the architecture of old agreements. Part of your activation requires releasing the need to be understood by every person in your orbit. Your mission was not issued with a requirement that everyone around you validated before you proceed. Sovereignty means you move when the soul moves. You act when the frequency calls. You stop asking the three-dimensional version of your life to give you permission to inhabit the multi-dimensional version of yourself. Soul sovereignty is one of the most misunderstood concepts in the awakening conversation because the human heart is a deeply relational organ, and the idea of moving in a direction that certain beloved people cannot follow creates a specific kind of grief that no amount of spiritual understanding fully dissolves. You will still feel the ache of being seen incompletely by someone you love. You will still feel the loneliness of standing at an altitude that certain connections cannot reach. And you are allowed to feel all of that. You are allowed to grieve the versions of your relationships that must transform as you transform, and to hold tenderness for the people who cannot yet see what you can see from where you now stand. But you cannot allow that grief to become the reason you descend back to a frequency that no longer serves your evolution. Sovereignty is not hardness. It is the mature love of honoring your path fully, even when it requires you to walk certain stretches of it alone. Trusting that the relationships capable of meeting you at your actual frequency are already forming in the field ahead of you, drawing closer with every step you take in full authenticity. The seventh shift, and this is the one most starseeds resist the longest, is full presence in your purpose without the safety net of someday. Someday when things settle. Someday when I have more clarity. Someday when I have more clarity. Someday when the timing feels more aligned. Someday is the distortion speaking. The timeline you are asking to live into will not wait for you to feel fully prepared, because preparation in the galactic sense does not precede activation. It occurs through activation. You learn the mission by beginning it. You find the clarity by moving in the direction the frequency is pulling you. Every great convergence in your life, every moment where something shifted irrevocably, where you could feel the before and after, was not the result of perfect readiness. It was the result of a soul saying yes before the mind had all the information. That yes is being asked of you now. Someday is the most seductive word in the vocabulary of avoidance because it does not present itself as refusal. It presents itself as wisdom. It sounds like discernment. It feels like patience. But when someday is used as a reason to delay the authentic expression of your purpose, it is not wisdom and it is not patience. It is the ego's most sophisticated strategy for maintaining the illusion of safety while the soul slowly starves. Every day you spend preparing to begin is a day your mission goes untransmitted into the field. Every conversation you postpone because you are not yet ready is a moment of connection that the universe was attempting to route through you to reach someone who needed exactly what you carry. You do not need to have the whole map before you take the first step. You need to take the first step, and trust that the map reveals itself through movement, that the clarity you are waiting for can only be received in forward motion, never in prolonged stillness. And here is the truth the entire transmission has been building toward. You are not lost, you never were. What looked like wandering was a deliberate expansion of your dimensional awareness through lived experience. What felt like failure was frequency calibration. What you named confusion was your soul holding multiple timelines simultaneously, while your Earth mind tried to collapse them into one linear story. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not forgotten by the higher intelligence that transmitted your soul into this realm with such extraordinary care and precision. You are arriving. Right now, in this moment, as these words move through you, something that has been waiting across multiple timetables is clicking into place, and the part of you that has been holding your breath, the part that has been existing in the in-between, afraid to claim too much in case it was wrong, afraid to release the old in case the new never came, that part is being asked to exhale now. Fully, completely, without condition. Let that land for a moment. Let it move past the part of your mind that wants to qualify it, the part that reaches immediately for the evidence against it, cataloging every way in which your life still looks incomplete, every goal still unreached, every wound still unresolved. That part of the mind is not your enemy, but it is not your authority either. The authority being invoked right now belongs to something far more ancient, far more intelligent, and far more certain than the analytical mind that has been trying to hold the weight of your entire journey on its own. You are arriving, not eventually, not conditionally, not once you have finally sorted out the last remaining piece of the puzzle. Now, in the body you currently inhabit, on the timeline you are currently living, the arrival has never been contingent on perfection. It has always been contingent on willingness, and something in you, the deepest part, the part that has been holding vigil through every season of doubt and darkness and apparent delay, has been willing all along. You are not here to be a spiritual observer. You are here to be an active frequency in the reweaving of this reality. Your presence is not incidental. Your awareness is not accidental. Your longing for something more is not delusion. It is dimensional memory pulling you toward alignment with a mission that was architected with greater intelligence than your Earth mind will ever fully comprehend. And you do not need to fully comprehend it. You need only to trust it enough to stop shrinking back into the version of yourself that was built for survival rather than activation. The reweaving of this reality is not a metaphor. It is a literal process occurring at the level of the morphogenetic field, the invisible architecture of shared consciousness that underlies all manifest experience. Every soul that awakens to its true frequency alters the field. Every being that chooses courage over comfortable smallness shifts the collective template in ways that ripple outward through dimensions and timelines that you cannot currently perceive, but that your higher knowing recognizes as real. You are not a passive recipient of a world that happens to you. You are a co-architect of the frequency landscape every soul on this planet must navigate, and the architecture you contribute through your own awakening, through your own integrity, through your own willingness to hold your highest frequency in the most ordinary moments of your life. That architecture is being received, registered, and woven into the collective field in ways that will outlast this single Earth incarnation. By more than you can imagine, tonight, before you close your eyes, speak this into the field of your own awareness. Say it aloud if you are able, and if not, feel it in the center of your chest where your soul signature lives. I remember who I am. I align with my star origin. I release the distortions that were never mine. I activate my mission with clarity, courage, and full presence. And I trust the intelligence that brought me here to carry me forward into everything I came to this timeline to become. Speak those words, not as a wish, but as a declaration. Not as a request, but as a reclamation. Your soul signature is not something you have to create or earn or eventually arrive at. It is the original frequency that was embedded in you before your first breath in this body, and it has been faithfully present through every moment of apparent confusion, every detour through density, every season of forgetting. When you speak that declaration, you are not asking for something new. You are returning to something ancient. You are pressing your consciousness against the oldest knowing you carry, the one that has been humming underneath everything, patient as starlight, certain as the intelligence that holds galaxies in orbit, waiting for this precise moment when you would finally be ready to hear it without flinching and call it by its true name, which is yours. Before you scroll, take a moment to be part of what is forming here. Drop one intention in the comments, something real, something you are ready to activate, and then find someone else's intention and meet it with energy, with encouragement, with the recognition that you are not alone in this field. This is not content. This is collective recalibration. Energy multiplies when intention connects. If something in this message reached you at a frequency beneath the words, do not keep it contained. Someone in your immediate orbit is waiting for this exact transmission. Share it, forward it, let it find who it needs to find. And if your soul offered you even a single nudge of recognition while you were here, subscribe, stay in the frequency. More is coming. You are not just watching, you are expanding. This is your space, and we are only just beginning.